Welcome to Grandad's Reviews, and today just quick talk about some of my settings on the new X-T3. I've had it a couple of days now, and when I was actually considering getting it, I watched a few reviews on YouTube, and most of them are positive, but some were saying they're having it as a hybrid shooter who wanted to shoot stills and video. They found it very difficult to actually change from stills to video, because each time they changed from still setting to video setting, you had to then change the dials, change your ISO, obviously your shutter speed to get it to 180 degrees of the frame rate. So I've had it a couple of days, had a look at it, and I've got some settings that hopefully might make that easier if you are considering the X-T3 as an all-in-one hybrid shooter for doing your stills and video. So we'll have a look at those and see what you think. Right, first off I'll just show you the settings of the dials on top of the camera for a start. So we're going to leave ISO in auto, A setting, and then on the shutter we're going to change that one to T. We're going to leave exposure compensation on 0. Then on the lens we're going to use the control ring on the lens to control the aperture. And now I'll show you the settings in the actual menus. Right, now in the menu system, so we want to go right the way down to the spanner, then down to button and dial settings. So we're going to there. The first thing we want to do, go down to command dial settings, and in the front command dial we want it so it's set to aperture, which is the F, exposure compensation and ISO. As long as it's set to that one, we'll leave it at that, and the rear to shutter, so we'll leave it at that. Come out, then go down to ISO dial setting, go across, and we've got auto or command. We turn that into command and then come all the way out, and that's the settings actually in the menu. And now I'll show how that works on the camera. Right, so now that we've got those settings set up on the camera, if you are in photo mode, so single shot, and you want to take a shot, obviously you'll set your aperture on the ring. So we set f2.8, let's say. I'm going to photograph this here, and then with the front ring I can set the ISO. Obviously you can see the meter or not, so I say I want to set the ISO low for a good quality. Now let's say I want to set it to 200. Obviously I'm underexposed, so I've got to change the shutter speed. So on the rear dial I can change the shutter speed to get the correct exposure. So using the front dial to set the ISO, and then the rear dial to set the shutter speed. So we set it for this. So shutter 100, f3.2, ISO 320. We then want to go over to movie mode, and we are shooting in 60 frames a second, so we need the shutter to be 120. We can just turn the back dial to get 120, and then the front dial to get the ISO where we need it. On there for filming. Now obviously if we want to go back on here to photo mode, again go back to 1/25, change the ISO or the shutter speed, and I found that for me to work very well to move from one to the other. So I'm taking a photo, I'll set the aperture first. So I'll set the aperture to 5.6. I'll pick the ISO that I require. So in this case I'll pick 800, and then I'll just alter with the rear dial shutter speed to get the correct exposure. And then when I want to go to movie, just move across to movie on the dial, put the shutter speed back to where it needs to be, 1/20th. The aperture I want, in this case we'll go wide open, and then with the front dial set the ISO to what I need. I say that's what I've been finding works quite well with me. If you have your own suggestions, please leave them in the comments, and look out for some more setup videos in the near future. See you later.